Hi, I'm Robin from Rainbow Gardens, and we are going to talk today about planting bulbs. It is fall right now. One thing, you cannot just pick bulbs and plant them at any time of the year. They've got to be planted at specific times of the year. So some of the bulbs that we can plant for fall would be things like tulips and daffodils, allium. There's numerous bulbs you can plant. Now in the spring, you'd be talking about maybe elephant ears, other things. Of course, there's vegetable bulbs you can plant as well, but today we are going to be doing a flower arrangement. So we've got our pot. We have a drain hole cover, which you can just use a used fabric softener sheet if you'd like. Potting soil, because we are putting them in a pot. So I've got potting soil, got my bulbs, and then I also have some bulb tone, which is very good to mix in with your soil when you're planting bulbs. So I'm going to fill my pot part way with soil, and then I'm going to put in my bulbs. Making a mess over here. Okay, so you've got everything ready, you've got your soil filled part way. You are definitely going to want to read your directions, but bulbs, typically with a bulb, you are going to want to, let me open our bulbs up here. This one is a tulip. You are going to want to make sure that the pointed side is facing up, and you're going to want to dig a hole that is about 2 to 3 times the size of the bulb. So there we go, we've got one there. So I'm going to plant these bulbs in, and the way we're doing this is the tulips are a little bit taller, so I'm going to put those toward the back, and then the shorter ones I'll put in the front. But if you're digging in regular soil and you are going to be planting something, you would just dig the hole and then at the appropriate length and then cover it up. Since we're adding soil to a pot, I can put these in so I can see exactly where they went and then add the soil on top of it, just making sure that there is enough so it is covered, it is buried, 2 to 3 times the length of the bulb. So I've got some daffodils now that I'm going to put in. Again, I have to remind myself that we are covering this up, so it needs to be sitting on top. Okay. Okay, so I've got these in, and you see how they're all close to the same height there. So now I'm going to put some little smaller ones in, and I'm going to put those in the front. And they, of course, are sitting a little bit higher up on the soil because they need sunlight to grow. Again, you're going to want to make sure that the pointed side is up. If it has any roots, they'll be pointing down. Sometimes it's hard to see. Here's the pointed side on this one. And I'm just going to kind of sit those right on top of the soil there. So when I planted these, I kind of put these just on top of the soil because we're pretty close to the top there. And these I just kind of stuck in there just a little bit. But when we finish raising the soil, it will be the appropriate height. So if you were going to be putting this in the ground, you would be digging the hole exactly 2 to 3 times the size of the bulb. But since we're adding, we just kind of did some mental math and decided where everything should be placed. I like doing it this way because I can then see where everything is. Sometimes when you dig and put a bulb in, then you're like, where did I put it? Was it here? Was it here? And then you end up getting too close. So this way you can see that everything's spaced appropriately and everything looks good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and finish filling this in with soil. And break up any clumps or anything like that. So I've just loosely covered these with soil because I want to add my bulb tone. This is fertilizer specifically for bulbs. Make sure you read your instructions. And I'm just going to put a little bit here. I'm going to use my scooper because it's clean, and measure out what the bag tells me to. Then I'm going to put it in here. You don't want to put it directly on the bulb. Put some in here. All right. Now we're going to finish covering with soil. So we have our soil in, and now it's time to water this in. So I'm going to get the hose and I'm going to water this in really well. I'm going to want to see water coming out the bottom, but I'm going to very lightly water it because I don't want all the dirt and everything going all over the place. So I'm going to get the hose and get this watered in because it's very packed in.
Can you start that again?
Oh yes. It may take a couple of passes to go over because I packed it in, so it's nice and packed in there, so it may take a couple of passes before you see water coming out the bottom. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to find a sunny place in my yard, and I'm going to put this in here. Now if you have a squirrel problem like we do here from time to time, well, every day, you're going to want to cover this with something, some type of a chicken wire or netting or something, so the squirrels don't get in there. This is just like a huge invitation for them to say, woohoo, let me jump in and dig around, or any other nighttime critter that goes in your backyard or whatever. So I would definitely recommend that you cover this with something like a netting or a chicken wire. And don't forget to water this guy. He does need water. I would, check it every few days, pick up the pot, see if it feels heavy, and you can stick your finger in there, see if it feels like it needs water, and then do water it. It does need to stay watered. You can't just plant it and go because it needs water for growth. So put it in a nice sunny place, cover it with some type of netting, and make sure you water it. And then in the spring, you'll have beautiful, beautiful flowers. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.